difference is no matter what, they're going to get banned against one of those two options.
Yeah. I think that Hayabusa is a pretty good option overall this time, but they could look to play for some of the other lanes. Fanny, still wide open, which I think even better than the Hayabusa, especially when you're up against the Yishin Shin.
Yeah, now Onic Philippines, though, really needs to draft a strong Roman mid that can help the Fanny defend her side of the jungle. When you have a Juicin and a YSS on the side of Team Spirit, you already know you're expecting EXP laners and roamers that are not afraid to invade early to really bother the rotation here of King Kong. So I think Team Spirit might want to look into banning out either a Badang or Gatot Kacha away from Brusco, two roamers who in this scenario supplement the Fanny very well.
Oh, but they also have to consider anything that kind of falls between the lines, right? Cho, number one, decently good. I think that Badang is also a pretty good call since we're not 100% on what exactly the Phoveus has to play into, right?
Yeah.
The CC is still up for grabs, and then we've got a lot of problems to kind of fulfill, right? Do we care more about Kirk in his lane, or is he going to play weak side, right? And I think this final ban from Onic PH will predetermine that. TS, on the other hand, mid laners. You got to get rid of the mid laners right now. You got to make sure that mid lane does not have priority so that we can protect ourselves from the pressure that Fanny may apply to either side lane.
So what do we take out in mid lane on Team Spear? What do we ban? I mean, obviously, Farza, Yves, ZTN are all options. Those are the hot picks right now.
Yeah.
I'm still flabbergasted with this draft right now. The fact that so many picks have been let through, or at least that these teams seem okay to be let through, and we're about to watch a completely different game than what we saw in the past series.
Yeah, I feel like this Eve ban by Team Spirit is very telling, though. They're looking to take control early to mid through skirmishes. That's one of the main reasons why you want to take away an Eve, because you are putting priorities on turtles and invades into the purple buff of King Kong. Badang gets banned by Onic Philippines instead of picking it up themselves.
Yep, so they're willing to say, Kirk, you're going to play weak side here, right? We don't want to have TS be able to hold on to such strong picks. And finally, the Selena is going to be the inevitable ban for the side of TS as well, trying to make sure that, hey, at least for this family, she's not going to be able to kind of keep up with how fast the raw jungling speed coming out from Yishin Shin is going to come through. Now, we do see the Gatot come through as well, which now makes the mid lane kind of obsolete.
I think they're also trying to whittle down the comforts of Sao. I think we might end up seeing Sao play a different hero than we're used to seeing.
How does he answer the Fanny right now? The Cho's gone.
Yeah.
They could go for something like Kaja, Franco, something of that nature. Ruby could always be slotted into EXP or something like that for Team Spirit. Could be an answer. Even Ruby Rome, I know it's not popular, but it's a possibility.
I wonder if, oh wait, that's a Kufra. Oh,
Classics.
yeah, they go for classic responses to the Fanny, Wanwan, and some of the focus I'm trying to remember, but okay, they go for the glue as their solid frontline presence. This Team Spirit draft is very well built for their main backline, for their YSS, their Moskov, and their Juicin.
And a little bit of underestimation of the Fanny, right? They have a couple of ways to deal with it, but not guaranteed. And that, Onic, they're ready to rumble.
It's literally, I swear I was about to guess it.
I
This
don't doubt you.
could work.
Yeah, and it's undefeated so far in MSC.
Yeah, and it's come in clutch so many times. A very strong pick, especially in terms of what they want to bring. A little bit maybe weaker in the laning phase, just like in the first few minutes. But as the game gets moving, Onic PH to be in a great position.
We could see a lot of skirmishes early on. You pick up the Faramis, that's a sign to the other team that you are willing to fight. Once that Faramis is level 4, Brigida and Naisu, please take us into game number 1 for second series of the day.
We are amped up and ready. Thank you so much to the panel there for breaking it down. We're ready for another 5 games. I'll tell you that much. Welcome to the English desk here. I'm Naisu, and this is Brigida to bring it the action between Team Spirit and Onic Philippines. Who will it be? I'm just going to throw it out there. I called the Kufra. All right, Brigida is my
witness.
Is my backup. She's my witness here. What do you think? Is this enough to deal with King Kong's Fanny?
I mean, it does feel like they've just decided to directly respond to whatever was brought out here by Onic PH, but I feel like it ultimately lies in how well they're able to play around this Yi Sun Shin, because it's going to be a very crucial part in this entire piece that Team Spirit does want to play in this game, because majority of the damage is going to rely on him, especially for those early skirmishes, as pointed out by our panelists, because we're expecting a lot of those to come in the first few minutes of the game.
Yeah, I think this is a very, Trek said it best there. It's like, this is a very different flavor that we're already seeing in game one with the drafts here, which is great. Again, and we also have another debut hero to MSC, and we've had so many picks. I'm not sure exactly the number we're at. I know it's like 87 or something like that. Here's a play, though, on Kirk.
Tyrant's Revenge towards the XP laner, but Brusco's also there to provide some sort of assistance. And for Kid Bomba, you generally have to play it carefully for the glue in this game, because the Faramis came in at the perfect time,
Yeah, the Faramis is great. A lot of teams kind of sleep on this pick still, but nonetheless, it's very valuable. The NetherRealm's great. It's got a 100% win rate right now, and a couple times that we've seen it pop up. But you can see a whole lot of common emblem over here for Team Spirit to go ahead and play around this. Again, you're going to have to maybe just set things up with the Kufra if you can, if you're Sawo, but also you can rely on the fact that Kid Bomba is on this glue. And like we saw from the previous series, glue, or really any of our XP laners right now, the main heroes that are picked up, could be so valuable to a lot of these games in and out. So this first objective is going to be the focus here. They're going to already poke back and forth, pulling Sawo back, but they fight for space around the turtle.
Yeah, they've zoned out one shot really well, but the fight is still going on. King Kong trying to look for Sawo, but the clutch shield coming in from the turtle might save him just for a bit. NetherRealm also committed as well, but they're still going for the fight. Kirk jumping in with the Infernal Pursuits, but this might be the time to disengage. The SOD is gonna land, and it might be time for Hiko to go in if he does decide to join the fight. But Team Spirit will have full confidence that they're able to take it on, even without Hiko.
Great comms there. Team Spirit, I feel like Hiko probably was like, should I follow through? But, it was the call from Team Spirit, and Kid Bomba's like, no, we at least got another kill, or we got one of the kills here that we needed, plus the objective. So that gives them that little bit of advantage now. And again, it's just one of those things that kind of can have the factor where it builds up on compound interest here throughout the game. But nonetheless, you just want to farm up. If Hiko has this opportunity to just farm up on the Mozkov, that's where we've seen the capabilities of turning games around later on. He doesn't have to just join these fights. Even if he lands a Spirit Destruction, that's completely fine. But even then, King Kong getting the kill himself, giving him a little bit of a amp-up time here on the Fanny. So far, though, it's interesting, Breda, because everybody still gets super excited for a Fanny.
Yeah.
And he's going to, this is Kid Bomba. He should be fine.
He should be. Gets the mount on Kirk, brings him under the turret as well, and that possibly saved him for this particular instance. King Kong and Kirk might play it a bit more safer now because the SOD is also there. Crimson Beacon in! Coming in from Sunset Lover, gets to find the knockup and the kill onto Kirk.
Man, oh man, I didn't know if Hiko would follow up again, but again, that's threat enough. I landed the spear. You don't know if he's going to follow through or not, but still, the glue pulls through.
It's such a suspense factor here for...
The spear or the glue?
The spear.
I was going to say, glue is also suspenseful.
That's true. Both, somehow, yeah. But the SOD landed twice. He never went in.
He doesn't, again, it's like there's this passive effect to it. It's like, okay, everybody's like paying attention to that. Like, does he follow through or not? So Team Spirit has control right now of this turtle because King Kong's got to get his own purple buff.
Whoa, Sawo didn't go in with the Tyrant's Revenge anymore. Didn't have to. There's the knockup from the Lantern Flare and Kid Bomba. He finds Kirk. This time around, the spear won't land, but AOG will, knocking up multiple members from Team Spirit. But King Kong coming in from the sides. Will he be able to find a kill? Whoever's one shot still alive. Gets to use the Traceless to keep himself safe. Kid Bomba mounts onto another member. That's going to be Super Friends. But he will have to walk away.
Oh, Sawo. He's jumping in. He goes forward, but there's no dice there. You can't. I thought they would stay a little bit longer, put some pressure there. But, hey, Team Spirit gets themselves a 2.5K lead. They've got a couple more kills in favor, plus that objective. And this has just been a gold lane 1v1 for this 5 minutes, which is great because, again, coming into this matchup, we were comparing the two gold laners here with Hiko and, of course, Kelra. And, yeah, I think you need more time to see exactly the hype buildup for Hiko. The Hiko mania we talked about back when we got to see him get that Savage over an M6. But right now, it's just him and Kelra holding down the gold lane.
It's going to take some time, especially for these two gold laners we're seeing right now. A lot of the focus, particularly in the past few games that we've seen here in MSC, definitely lies in the mid trio and in how well they're able to manage that mid lane. But now King Kong, gets mounted here by Kid Bomba. One shot trying to apply the damage, and even right under the turret, they'll be successful in that pickoff.
And that is just how annoying a glue can be. Even sticking to a Fanny, making a flying Fanny, making you just have a hell of a time. And then you complement that with a Kufra. So they're going to put the pressure on the purple buff, and this is where it starts to really hurt. If you are playing a Fanny and you fall behind like this, even down to the purple buff not being available for you, it puts you in a really difficult spot.
Yeah, and to be fair, I feel like Sao hasn't been the one to go in first majority of the time. Even when there were moments that it felt like he could go in with a Tyrant's Revenge and find a setup onto at least two members of Onic PH, it felt like the way he's playing this Cooper right now is just to protect the key members of Team Spirit, at least for now, because they still acknowledge the fact that Onic PH, they can still go in at any moment in time. King Kong can still go in from any angle he wants to, and so all their priority lies now or falls into keeping one shot safe and handing over the snowball, which clearly is working because he's already 1,500 gold ahead of King Kong.
This is one of those situations where Onic Philippines has to figure an answer out for, dealing with that setting potential that we're seeing from Sao or Kid Bomba's kind of front tankiness that the glue gives you. But also, eventually, how do we get to one shot? How do we get to Hiko later on once he's activated for those fights? That's the biggest question here. Now, again, you can play around the utility that you have a Faramis. You can play around that King Kong should have some decent damage on the Fanny throughout the game. But as we're seeing, even for King Kong, he's having a hard time cabling in and out of these fights. It's not the easiest for him to do. And you take a look at the items here, you can see the difference in the gold lane. Mind you, a lot of this has just been 1v1. So Hiko is actually with a lead against Kelra here.
And even the junglers. Both junglers and gold laners of Team Spirit are 1,000 gold ahead of their counterparts in Onic PH, and now they're trying to disrupt even their attempt to take the purple buff. King Kong successfully secures it with the retribution. But jumps in, and there goes the Nether Realm, at least to keep them a bit more safe. But the Tyrant's Rage catching everyone from Onic PH, and another Tyrant's Revenge onto Super Prince, handing over a triple to one shot.
One shot, 3 kills. Gets a triple and makes it work. And that's all, again, putting pressure on the purple buff is all they have to do, because they know that now Onic Philippines is in this position where it's like, we got to go ahead and get a purple buff to King Kong. Yes, he was able to go ahead and secure it with the retribution. But again, your team is in this position that they're going to be forced to fight because of the way this lineup works for Team Spirit. So now they find themselves with a very healthy lead. And I'm surprised with some of the positioning here, some of the decisions from Onic Philippines to go and force this, force these situations where they're up front to get information, to do what they can. But I think they know it. They have to just give this Lord up. They have so much ground to cover here.
Now that Onic PH are playing defensively, a huge responsibility is definitely going to fall into the hands of Super Prince. Right now, he doesn't have access to his ultimate, but he has to make sure that, the Spear of Misery will definitely land there. We'll see. But, the way that he doesn't have the Purify too is going to be a big problem if he's the one that's targeted first by Team Spirit, especially by Sao here, because he's the one who needs to kinda buy a bit more time for his team. He's the only one capable of doing that, because so many things have to be set in place for Onic PH and their lineup to work, and not even their attempts to manage the macro are working right now, because every time King Kong tries to go out with a Fanny, there's just this immediate response. You see it right now from Team Spirit to not allow them to go any further.
Yeah, this is great. This Lord is eventually going to go down here. It does get a charge up on the top. Saul's charging up himself. I don't think they want to force this fight. They're going to clear out the waves here. They hold on to these base turrets. So even with this kind of lead, Team Spirit doesn't want to overextend into this.
Yeah.
Just taking it through this. King Kong takes some damage. He'll be fine. He's just trying to clear out these waves, but they will lose that holy defense shield now on the bottom side. So Team Spirit has pretty much accomplished what they set out to do on this first Lord push.
The thing is, if the Kufra, if Sao just shows Onic PH that he's charging, then that's just basically to threaten them, to be very conscious of where they're going to position themselves, because it's not necessarily a surprise attack that they're planning to do. It's just another form of probably zoning Onic PH out, and at least for them, they've been able to defend all their base turrets. It's still intact, but all their holy shields, they're gone, and we're only approaching the 11-minute mark. No one from Onic PH is actually safe. There are just so many ways for Team Spirit to gather information, to gather vision, and to just zone them overall. Okay, Mountain Shocker nearly landed onto King Kong, but at least they're able to keep themselves safe.
You're just seeing, I mean, right now, this is such a tough game to get back and turn around if you're Onic Philippines. And you don't have any other option if you're King Kong to just push those, you know, the cross lanes or, you know, push those side lanes. A spear is going to be thrown, but King Kong's going to be fine. And that's all he can do. He can put pressure. Hopefully they can get a turret. Because, I mean, look at this. They have nothing. Onic Philippines has no turrets, no objectives,
just
one
now.
kill. That's it. The one lane. So, like, these are the surmountable steps that have to happen here for Onic Philippines, and the only person that can do that is King Kong. Now, we have seen through MSC games 10K ahead, turn around.
Wait, they actually go after Kirk? But there's a decent amount of damage from Onic PH, but the damage is just enough. Even the Nether Realm is immediately taken out. Kelra is the next target. One shot is currently godlike on this Yisun Shin. It's only Super Prince and King Kong who will try to defend and clear the way, but there's a knockup from the Spear of Misery, and they have their eyes on nothing else but the base. There's the SOD, but clearly they've been able to deal with the minions, and now they might actually want to go for more. There goes the Ghost Bursters coming in from Super Prince too, but now it's a retreat for Team Spirit.
So close to ending the game there for Team Spirit. Nonetheless, they'll go ahead, grab the Lord. King Kong might actually get his purple buff here now. Now, will that be enough? They're facing down a massive gold deficit. This is so far behind for Onic Philippines that Team Spirit can go ahead and force a fight onto this next push with this Lord. Looking at the items here, they are completely where they need to be. You already saw it in that last fight. If they decide, they almost just have free pickings to decide to who they want to go on. It doesn't matter if it's Brusco or if it's Kirk. These supposedly tanky heroes are not tanky enough to deal with this kind of damage that is coming through from Team Spirit. So they have to play the macro game here. I'm not sure what Onic Philippines wants to do here. Cut the waves if they can, but eventually you got to get ready for that base defense.
Yep. That's going to be the next big step here for Onic PH. They have a lot of catching up to do, especially considering the 12k gold lead that's currently in the hands of Team Spirit. But Team Spirit are going to take this step by step. A surprise setup coming in from Sao, but there's the Flicker and the Nether Realm. Brusco jumps in with the AOG, but barely makes it out alive! King Kong gets bursted down. There's the crossbow tank coming in as well from Keller, but the damage doesn't seem to be enough. It's a legendary for one shot, and that's game number 1 for Team Spirit.
And Team Spirit, they had smiles on their